Have this dangerous feeling, don't know what to believe in. God, don't give up on me yet. I know I'm not your best bet, but I'm trying. Don't give up on me yet. And God, don't leave me here alone. I know I need to grow still, and I'm trying. Don't leave me here alone.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to... From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to the States. Good afternoon to France. Catherine and I coming through. We're talking about fat and seed oil. Let's get Catherine here and get this thing started real quick. See what's going on here.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
And good afternoon to those who are listening from here. Sorry, what did you say?
Now, go ahead. That's fine.
I was saying,
Looked like they made some changes overnight to the studio. I got kind of confused here this morning. But no, go ahead. That's fine. What's going on? How are you today?
I'm good.
Good, good.
What about you? How are you feeling?
Yeah,
Okay. How is the pain?
It's subsiding a little bit.
Okay. That's a good thing.
Can't wait to get back to therapy and it's been a rough road here. Rough road. But I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Nah, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Okay. How's it going over there? How's the weather in France?
The weather today is much cooler. I mean, not cooler. Like, what can I say? It's warm. It's like we have the south weather coming up. Okay. Yeah. Like we have some, it's windy. It's quite windy, but the temperatures are quite better.
Yeah.
Very warm for November, though.
Right.
Yeah. Like we're almost having 20 degrees when it's supposed to be less than 10 degrees, the best for the day.
Right. Wow.
So it's warmer. It's warmer than it's supposed to be. Yeah. But next week we'll be talking something else. It will be cold. So Let's just enjoy that.
Global warming.
Yeah.
Global warming is real.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What we got on the menu today? What we got on the menu?
So today we are talking about fats and oils. Okay. So what is, because I have had a lot of people, especially in social media, you go to YouTube, you go to everywhere, everyone is speaking about oils.
Okay.
And especially seed oils. And so I wanted to help our audience in trying to, decipher which is best thing and where is the too much talk coming from. Is it real? What's the truth? Okay. So I would like us to zoom in and find out where is all this debate coming from? Why is everyone talking about the oils? And see, is fat good for the health or it's something bad that we should all omit? Okay.
Okay. Take it away.
So you have heard of low fat diet, right?
Yes,
And so yeah, there's so many people who go for low fat diet that they don't cook with oil, they don't take anything that comes from fat or anything like that. And so this was something that was for decades. I think it's back in 1970s, 80s, where like fat is bad for your health, and so people
right.
really started avoiding fat. But fat is good for our health. And some fats are essential, meaning that you must get them from your diet. Essential means that your body can't make it, and so you have to bring it through the food. So we have some fats that you need to come. They need to come from the diet, and some fats that you don't need because the body will make it. We using other raw materials. So fat isn't just calories, and it can contain, to some extent, some oils, and some fat will contain antioxidants and anti-inflammatory components. Now, depending with which oil or fat we're talking about. So I'll just use fat. In sometimes I'll use oil, but we are talking about the same thing.
Okay.
So fat, especially DHA, is it's in omega-3. It's critical for neurons and brain function. Fat also protects the cells. Actually, all our cells are built with fat in the membrane. They contain fat. Some fat regulates hormones. And so you would like the hormones like testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, and all that. They need some fat to be regulated. Fat also helps absorb some nutrients. I don't know for you, but for those who are listening, we have vitamins. Some vitamins come into two groups. There are some soluble, fat soluble, and water soluble. So the fat soluble vitamins, they require fat or oil to help the absorption. And fat, in some cases, can help to modulate immune system and also to reduce inflammation.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions also?
Nah, I didn't know fat was so good for you.
Yeah, that is good. It's not just a macronutrient. I think it's bad when it's looked at as a macronutrient. Macronutrients, we have carbohydrate, proteins, and fat. And so some people just say, when you have that fat, it's giving you so much calories and it doesn't give you any food. It doesn't give you any nutrients. So that's, I think, why a lot of people really confuse, and they just zoom out and see just fat as calories that you don't need. So what happens on a very low fat diet? And there is low fat diet, which can be very harmful, especially for people who have, we looked at it in insulin resistance, that fat will clog the cells. And so reducing fat in that case, it could be helpful. But when you go to a very low fat diet, it will cause hormonal disruption, because once again we said some hormones they need fat to function properly. Okay, so it can lead to low estrogen, low testosterone, progesterone. It can affect cycles in women, and it can lead to infertility. Low fat can lead to cognitive decline due to lack of essential nutrients. Brain, and this is something that so many people say, that they're eating a lot of fat because brain is made of fat. Brain is actually made of 60% fat. But brain doesn't need dietary fat. Brain makes its own fat. Okay? So when we say brain needs fat, that's false. But brain needs some nutrients like vitamins, and remember what I just said, the fat soluble vitamins are not going to get to the brain if they don't have oils carrying them to be absorbed. I
Got
have had this several times. I don't know for you, but there are a lot of people when they go to a very low fat diet, they have very dry skin. I think that is one of the most things that you'll notice that someone is in a low diet is the way the skin becomes so dry and irritated. So because fat helps in moisturizing the skin and also helps in repair. It can slow the wound healing. When you go to a very low fat diet, the wounds heal slowly because some fatty acids, they are involved into the wounds healing, into the inflammation and all the repairing that comes in the wound. Okay. We have different types of fats, and they are normally classified into two groups. So we have saturated fats, and the other fats are unsaturated fats. So the saturated fats, these are solid in the room at room temperature. So when you look at butter, coconut oil, when it's in places when it's not very hot, okay? Because for me, if I buy coconut oil and it's summer here, it becomes liquid. But if you put it in the fridge, for example, it becomes solid, or in a cold temperature, it's going to become solid. So butter normally is solid in nature, right? So the fats that are solid, these we consider them as saturated fat because they are it's actually the molecules are so attached to each other, so they become fixed to themselves. And so butter, ghee, coconut oil, and animal fat like taro, these are the ones we consider as saturated fats. Saturated fats can be made in the body, so they're not essential. You don't necessarily need to eat them. However, they keep the membrane firm, so that the membrane of the cells, they keep them firm so that every cell has receptors, that the way the cells communicate. And so for the membrane to work, for the membranes to be steady, firm, the saturated fat is necessary. Okay. And so they also help to protect the skin barrier. Coconut oil has been used or has been studied to help in gut health. It supports gut health. It also has antimicrobial properties. MCT oils. Have you ever heard of MCTs?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I go back a little bit. The oils comes with they're long chains. Okay. So MCT is medium what? I can't remember. They are medium chains. And so these fats, especially the ones coming from coconut oils, they can help in brain health. And some people, okay, what the industry does is take the MTCs from the coconut oil and make pure MTCs. These are normally for ketones. The last time we were talking about the ketosis, and they help the body to heal. They are really used, especially when it's in case of Alzheimer's or when the brain is not functioning properly and just need that energy. Okay. Knowing, for example, when you talk about oils and fats, when they're digested, the fats first goes to, they don't get digested as other foods. So they follow a different pathway. But these MTCs, they go directly to the liver. They don't get digested the same way. And so that's why they don't necessarily, I'm talking about coconut oil here. It's not as considered as saturated like the other fats. It's saturated, but it has its own healthy benefits. I hope I'm making myself clear here.
Oh, you clear on it. I'm just
Okay.
now. You mentioned coconut oil, right? You said when you
Yeah.
place it in the fridge, it hardens. That's what you said?
Yeah.
Just regular coconut oil?
Yeah, normally it's supposed to be at room temperature. I mean, at room temperature, it's supposed to be solid. But when it's very hot, it becomes liquid. And then that is natural, because you can get others that have been processed and you find them at liquid form, liquid state.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So another source of oil that is talking about saturated, but it's not really saturated, is the red palm oil, the original one. Mostly before they industrialized, Africans used to use red palm oil. That one is the oil that we are supposed to be using, not the ones that we, every time you hear, even here, it's like when you hear there is palm oil, you just don't want to use that food because it's so much hydrogenated. But red palm oil, the original one, it's a source of vitamin A and vitamin E and anti-inflammatory. So, yeah, and to say palm oil is among saturated fat, although it has other fats in it. Okay. So even if saturated fats are not essential, a little amount from dietary fats will be beneficial for the body. So you don't necessarily need to eat them because the body will obviously produce them. But if you bring them, especially when they're coming with health benefits, like as I said, coconut oil or palm oil, you're bringing other nutrients. So we are zooming in to say, you're not just bringing the fat as a calorie dense food, you're bringing the micronutrients. And especially where some nutrients, if you're talking about palm oil, for example, where it's coming with vitamin A and vitamin E, both of these are essential, what do you call this? Antioxidants. Okay. The other type is unsaturated fat. And unsaturated fat, it's normally liquid. And we have two types. We have monounsaturated and monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. Sorry. So monounsaturated fats are like olive oil, avocado, and some nuts. Okay. These oils, they normally make the cell membranes more flexible. Olive oil, it's normally a unique oil. I mean, I don't think it's the only oil in the world. It's just because it's the most studied. And it has a lot of healthy benefits because of polyphenols. So when you look at olive oil and you just think it's a calorie-dense food, when we zoom in, olive oil has been really studied for its benefiting for health, I mean, heart health, brain health, and it's because it comes with these polyphenols. Okay. The other one, the other part, apart from monounsaturated, it's polyunsaturated fat. And this is where these oils become different from other types of oil because these are essential oils and you need to bring them through the diet. Polyunsaturated fats, we're talking about omega-6 and omega-3, or I can say omega-3 and omega-6. Ever heard of that, right?
You said fat. You said fat. F-A-T.
I beg your pardon?
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I am asking, ever heard of omega-6 and omega-3?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So omega-6, it can be a friend and a foe. It depends which sides. It depends how it's coming through your diet. Okay, so it is necessary for inflammation. It's actually the oil that is going to help, or the fat that is going to help trigger inflammation when there is a danger, like you have been cut or there is a wound. The immune system is awakened, and omega-6 is part of that process that causes the immune system. It also recruits the immune cells so that they can come to the injury. It also starts the blood clotting. helping the wood to heal, and helps with cell communication. Up to that point, omega-6, they are perfect, right?
Mhm.
When they are consumed in a high amount, omega-6 will become a problem, and they can become pro-inflammatory. They're going to create inflammation. And also the quality also matters. And so omega-6, they're not supposed to be, we have to have this balance between omega-6 and omega-3. So if you're just taking a lot of, in your diet, you have a lot of omega-6, you're going to have a problem with omega-3 because both of them, they use the same pathway to be absorbed in the cell. So when there is a lot of omega-6, the omega-3 are going to be blocked, and so they're not going to come in. Where omega-6, they can help with the inflammation, omega-3, they're the ones that comes and stops the inflammation. So when you don't have enough omega-3s, you'll have more inflammatory, what can I say? You'll have more inflammation, okay?
More,
So
you said more?
more inflammation when you have more omega-6.
Okay.
Okay. So omega-6 comes from seed oils, nuts, grains, some animal fats, and also some plants can give you omega-6. So once again, the omega-6 only becomes harmful when they are consumed at a high amount. Okay. So the other ones are omega-3. And these, so omega-6, they're essential. Omega-3, they are essential as well. These omega-3, they are anti-inflammatory, and they are the ones that are reducing the inflammation. They are the source of DHA. Ever heard of DHA, right?
No, I haven't.
No, you can be serious.
I didn't understand. You said,
DHA.
yeah, I have.
Oh, okay. DHA, it's coming from omega-3. Hello, wake up.
Hey, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. No,
Yeah. So omega-3s, they are critical for brain function. They improve memory, they help in learning, and they protect neurons from damage. And also they reduce the risk of neurodegeneration. Omega-3s, especially EPA, helps in heart health. Omega-3 also improves blood flow, moods, and keeps the cell membrane flexible so that they can have good communication. And they help in hormonal receptors function. So omega-3 also are very important, and they're needed in retina. It's actually 50% of retina is made of DHA. So without omega-3, the cell membranes will become slow and less optimal. Okay. Sources of omega-3, they are derived from fish, flax seeds, chia seed, algae, or algae for British, walnuts, moringa, and cassava leaves, and other leaves. Okay. Omega-3 are very sensitive to heat, light, and oxygen. So that to say, that's why you always find them very in capsules and less into the bottled. They are less bottled omega-3s. But even in the fish omega-3s that normally we find in the industry could be damaged because of the processing, because they are very sensitive.
right.
Okay, so we should never cook with omega-3s. You have a question?
Now I was getting ready to make a point about flaxseed. I heard you mention flaxseed. I
Yeah.
use that daily.
And how do you use flax seeds?
Sometimes I put it in my tea, and other times I have a friend of mine made this heating pad for me to pull out the inflammation in my shoulder.
Mhm.
Use it every single night sometimes in the mornings. Normally, when I'm on a podcast, which I have it on,
Mhm.
I'll put it in the microwave, warm it up for about 2 minutes, and place it on the shoulder. It pulls inflammation out of the body.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Instead of a heating pad, like electrical heating pad,
Mhm.
I use a flaxseed pad. She actually
Oh,
made it for me.
okay,
So
that's
you
beautiful.
heat, yeah, you heat it up for like 2 minutes.
Mhm.
Just place it on the injured shoulder, and it pulls the inflammation out. And
I've never
the
heard of that.
results, yeah, the results are almost instantly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it gets a lot of relief from that. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay, and you said it's made from or from what?
I'm
Plants
sorry.
itself? The
Yeah,
flax
it's actually flax seeds,
seeds, the shells or the oil?
the shells.
The shells, I was thinking.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, something to note. Plants don't contain DHA or EPA. So when people are talking about omega 3s, normally we are talking like we are eating fish to get omega 3. But what is most important is the DHA, and EPA, and there is DHP or something like that as well. I can remember very well. And these ones, they come from plants. I mean, they come from fish, the fish that ate the algae. Animals and humans, they're supposed to get omega 3s from the plants. And then once we eat them, we get to convert them into DHA and EPA. The only problem is it becomes, the science says that conversion is very, very low. So for people who have inflammation, for example, they are fighting diseases, we are very more often told to supplement with omega 3s because the conversion in the body is very low.
Right.
Okay, for healthy people, there is no need of supplementing with the omega 3s if you're eating enough plants, especially green leaves.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, we attack the elephant in the room, the seed oils. Because I think everything that comes into about fat and oils is the problem comes with the seed oils. And seed oils, for some people, they call them vegetable oils, are these oils that we are cooking with. When you go to your grocery store,
Right.
especially when I look at America, they have a lot of them. Like, wow.
Yeah, they do. They
So
really do.
yeah, so these are the oils that most of the world is using to cook, and this is where we are coming. The problem is coming from, because like if you were to make your own seed oils, I dare say you wouldn't be using as much as you do because the process of making it will take much longer,
Right.
right? Like you imagine like grinding and to get the oil itself. It's just like the way I think there was a time I said if you were to cook to bake a bread every day,
Hmm.
you wouldn't consume that bread that the very day because it will become cumbersome and you'll just be saying, okay, I'll make this bread for 1 week. Okay.
Right.
So the problem is not the seed oils per se, it is the way the oils are made. So the problem comes from the industrial processing.
You know,
So
I gotta say this.
yeah.
It's very important that I say this. Ever since we started doing this podcast, the Nutrition Edition on a Conversation, I've learned so much just by letting you coach. Here in America,
Hmm.
we're completely in the dark as far as it goes with our health, as far as it goes with anything that we consume,
Yeah.
completely in the dark. And I
And
thought about that. It struck a thought on me when you said the other side of the world is doing something totally different from here
Yeah,
in
but
America.
the problem is you're contagious.
Yeah,
That's a problem because
that's a serious
for a,
problem.
for- the problem is you can stick with your own problems and find out your solutions, but the problem you extrapolate that everywhere.
Yeah,
We look at Japanese, we looked at Africans where health was like we didn't have diseases before. Like when I
huh,
got here, when I got here
exactly.
about 27 years ago now, when I got here, there were those sentences that those things that people would just say, like, someone is sick, like, those are white men diseases.
You said it, I didn't, but I totally get it.
And today, those white men diseases are the ones that
Right.
are killing Africans today
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we adapted the way the Americans they're doing, and we just we picked it up. I'm talking about Japanese because they used to have a very, especially Okinawa, they were known to be
Right.
one of the healthiest countries. Today, obesity is really it's getting there. When
Right.
we when we talk about Mediterranean diet, you have to zoom in. What are they saying about Mediterranean? Not the Mediterranean diet of today, but back then. Because today, you're finding obese people here in
Yeah,
Europe.
yeah,
When I came here, I used to find myself among the fat people because by then, every other single French woman was slender. They call themselves the petite française. They were slender. Today, that's not the case anymore.
right.
And that's not because a lot of things have changed. It's just because people have adapted a world that doesn't belong to them and that it belongs to American way of eating. Like
Yeah, and it's
every
not
other,
healthy at all.
almost every other traditional restaurant was picked up with McDonald's and French fries and tacos and name it. And
Exactly.
that's why we are coming to the seed oils in the cooking. Because when I came here, there was a time, and I'll come back to that, we could buy oils that were organic,
Hmm.
good oils. But today you find less and less of those things because you put something in front of the consumers and they don't ask themselves questions. They just eat them. Because actually we say, and I think you have had people asking this, if it was that bad, then why are they selling it? Why are they even making it?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But here in
So
the States, it's just like anywhere else.
yeah.
Anything that's good for you, the price is skyrocket. I mean,
Exactly.
it's out of
Exactly.
reach. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
I
Hmm.
was in Whole Foods. Are you familiar with
Yeah.
you guys have a Whole Foods over in France? Like
Whole Foods.
it's a supermarket, like Whole Foods supermarket, where you
No,
go.
no. Special for that? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
I was in there yesterday.
mm,
The prices, I mean, it's a real healthy store.
yeah.
Everything in the store is seriously healthy. So I go to different markets picking up things. So three different markets when I go, grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And the prices in Whole Food, if you compare them to the prices at any other regular grocery store, stark difference.
Yeah.
Seriously different. Because it's good.
And it's good for you. And that's the same thing that comes to for here. We don't have the whole food, but you can find the whole stuff in the
Right.
same grocery stores. The only part you'll get is organic, and you see the price.
Yeah.
Organic food is pricey.
Yeah. I just picked some stuff up yesterday.
It is pricey. And
Expensive.
what is so funny, I don't know whether it happens, it's also there, but here, there are things you never find in organic food, in an organic shops.
Right.
These oils in plastic bottles, you're not finding that in organic shops.
No, you're not.
you're not getting highly processed foods. You're not getting them in organic shops. No, if they are not even trying to make you understand that we use the best quality. No, there is. I'm not saying they don't have processed foods, but they are minimally processed. And even if they are processed, I buy pasta for kids there, but you
Right.
find it's only flour, water, nothing else. It's just like something that you can make from in your house. It's only here it's much simplified. You don't have the machines to make pasta for yourself. So yes, the price comes with quality, or the quality comes with price.
Right.
So the problem with the industrial oils is because, okay, everyone is saying they're pro-inflammatory, they're going to cause inflammation, but some problem also comes in because there are people who are out there, they're saying, I've done all the studies, I've read the papers, and no paper really says that seed oils causes inflammation. And that is a direct causation, like means that if you eat seed oils, they're not going to cause inflammation, okay, per se. That's what the studies are saying.
Right.
However, when you consider that oils, the way they are processed, the way they are manufactured, we start from they're highly GMO, okay. Second, they're going to use chemicals, and two, deja, they're GMO, and they have pesticides, some of them, and
Right.
so they're going to be washed with solvents that are neurotoxins. They're going to be bleached. Then they're going to be removed. They're going to be deodorized so that they can all smell the same. Have you ever noticed all the oils, the highly processed oil? They all have the same color.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
they're yellow. They're yellow. They don't
Like
have any
yellow.
smell.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
get it.
they
Yeah.
all have the same color because that's the way they have been bleached. They have been made to look that way so that they can be stored for a longer time. We go back to the question I said. If we were to make oils ourselves, we grind the seeds and we have the oils, those oils will go rancid within a few days. Like they're going to start smelling badly. They're going to taste badly, okay, because they are exposed, and because these oils, the seeds themselves, they contain omega-3s, fatty acids. When they are cold pressed, these ones, they are maintained, but when they are processed, we remove all those things. So they become food that you can store in the shops for a longer time,
Right.
and they're also heated at a higher heat. That means even if, for example, you'll go to PubMed and look for canola oil, they're going to tell you it has omega 3s, not omega 3s, what do we call it, antioxidants. But those antioxidants, they got lost long time ago when from the real food by
Right.
just the process of heating it. It's either they might add them, but they become also put into the bottles, plastic bottles. And these plastic bottles, if they store for a long time, they're going to leach. The plastic is going to leach into the oil itself. Now, I was thinking about putting those bottles into tropical region. Tropical region is very hot, and so the plastic will become soft, meaning the plastic is leaching too fast, easily and quickly into the fat.
Right.
Now we take that fat and we go and deep fry with the food with it. We're increasing the heat. We are smoking the oil. We make it even more dangerous than it was in the bottle. When it came with the bottle, it was already a bad thing. And now when you cook with it, you deep fry, you heat it in the smokes, you add more carcinogenic things. Okay? So
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
say,
You mentioned that on another podcast about heating the oil.
yeah, we are not
It's not
supposed to heat
good.
the oil. And I heard someone saying that a lot of people, women, especially in Asia, or I think it's also India. India, they have that tendencies of heating some seeds in the oil, and they let it smoke, and then they pour it on the food. And those people who really do that, especially working into the restaurants for a long time, they end up having lung cancer because they are smelling this oxidized oil, the fumes.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, that was the first thing I tell people when I'm working with women: make sure you're not putting oil on a heated pan, because most of all recipes they're going to tell you put oil on a heated pan. What is going to happen? The oil smokes,
It's gonna smoke.
and that alone is oxidation. So you're going to cook food, even if your vegetables were so good, you already put oxidized molecules in that food. So never, ever, ever heat your oil. Okay, So what are the best? Do you have any questions so far?
Nah, you just we spoke about the oil thing several podcasts back, but
Mm-hmm.
it's very important about heating that oil.
Yeah.
Very important. Because we do it a
So
ton here in the States.
yeah, a lot. I think it's everywhere because I see that, like when people are cooking, they just take that oil and they heat it, and it's
Heat
oils
it up.
there.
Yeah.
And then, like for example, I do buy organic oils, and they are pricey. But when
Right.
you go to the other oils, you can get a liter of oil with just €3, €3, or maybe I can say to $4 a liter of oil.
Right.
And so you get to understand not everyone will have access to the organic oils. And so what can we do, especially if we want, but because let's get real, cooking food in oils make food taste so awesome. It's not it was not invented for something else. I
Right.
think even our old grandparents, we used to use fat in a way, so because fat makes food taste very, very good. And that becomes with the browning of the food, because when you cook food the oil and you let it brown a little, that caramelizing the food, it really makes it taste so good. But that alone, browning on itself, will create more molecules that are going to make the aging of the cell. They're going to cause the cell to age faster. So what can we use when it comes to cooking? We're going to look at that alone further. But what I wanted to say is, what if you can't buy organic oils and you want to eat your salads? Okay, so most of people will say you can use the seeds themselves. If you have a blender, you blend some seeds and then you just put them there. You can use nut butters, for example, to make the sauces. But for me, when I'm thinking seriously, I'm saying, and this is only for me, I'm not saying this is what people are supposed to do. If 1 teaspoon of oil, even if it's that seed oil that you bought from the shop, if
Right.
that only 1 teaspoon is the one that you're going to cook with it for the whole family, right? I don't think, and you're cooking with it in a healthy diet, like you're eating vegetables, you're not eating processed food and all that. I wouldn't say that one single spoon is the one that is going to damage or cause all the problems that we hear. The problem comes in every other person is deep frying.
Yeah.
We are eating a lot of processed food. You remember when we did insulin resistance, when we talked
Yeah.
about the fat, okay? We talked about what is the most bad food for insulin resistance, and we say there's none, but there is a combination of two. So if you combine sugar and fat, you have a deadly bombs there. So for fat oils per se, they are not bad, but when we are eating, we are not just eating I'm putting fat into the salad and I'm going to eat that food. Is we are cooking at high temperatures, we are cooking very processed foods, and we are also consuming very highly refined sugared food. So this combination makes things worse. Okay. The other thing I saw when I was doing the research was like, what about the cold pressed? Because me, for example, when I'm buying oils, I'll buy cold pressed olive oil. And let's talk about olive oil. Olive oil, it's not a seed oil. It comes from olives, which are fruits. And olive oils doesn't need the process that the seeds goes through, because all they need is to squeeze the olives and they get the oil. Okay, so normally it is not processed as the seed oils. So when someone is looking for olive oil, they should look for a well cold pressed olive oil. But I understood in America, for example, that can just be a marketing word, which means most of the olive oil is going to be fractured with other oils. So you might find yourself buying olive oil, but it doesn't have 100% olive. It has canola oil and other things, and they just label it as olive oil. So that's the problematic. And so when we have olive oil in Europe, and we are very well protected because there is, standards that are observed, I think the rest of the world should be very careful when it comes to olive oil. Okay. And other oils as well. For example, when in America, they would say, we are not going to use soy oil, we are not using canola oil. Here we are using that oil because we can get it in cold pressed canola oil. We can get healthier oils that we can use. And again, we are not over consuming them.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something that's going to surprise you.
Yeah.
I've never in all my life heard of cold pressed oil.
Really?
Never.
Okay.
They do things a little different over here, man. That's quite disturbing.
Yeah. So most of the olive oil, you'll find it here mostly in the organic shops.
Right.
The big shops also. We have Carrefour, for example, the one you maybe would represent the big shops here, the big grocery, because malls, you get some sections that have organic ones, but also there is that thing where we are more protected by the legislations, the way things are sold in here, and the way they are manufactured.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, very, very good, very good. I think sometimes we have to really take, and I think mostly for people like in Africa, where a lot of industrial countries now, they think that's where our dustbin is. We take everything and we just sell to Africans. And in Africa, we don't have these regulations. No one is examining what is coming in. And so it's a door to harm a lot of people. And so people should be very, 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 very careful. So oils to cook with. I said we are not supposed to cook with oils and smoke them, but you can use olive oil. And I understand now, globally, I think everyone can have, each corner of the world, we can have olive oils, but olive, it's normally a Mediterranean food. If you have a chance to get olive oil, good for you. It's supposed to be cold pressed and you just use it in a minimal heat, not supposed to overheat it. It starts heat, but not that much. It's also delicate. The best oils that starts heat would be avocado, coconut, ghee, butter, taro, or palm oil. Okay. Something to note about avocado, because there was somewhere where I had a discussion about avocado oil, and while there's no standards that are put to know how to make the best avocado oil, you can get an avocado oil that was made from oxidized avocados, and sometimes avocado will also be fractured with other oils. There was something so funny. It's not funny when you look at it. It was someone was talking about the way in America, especially guacamole.
Guacamole,
What do you call it?
guacamole, guacamole.
Guacamole, and it's supposed to be from it's supposed to be made from avocado
Avocado. Yeah,
and what
avocado.
and what
Yeah, just avocado. What you
and
mean, like the dip? You talking about the
yeah,
guacamole dip?
the
The
guacamole
main
dip.
ingredient is avocado.
It's avocado, but
Uh,
I understood that they use pea.
what?
They use pea because pea is green. You mash it and you might have just one, maybe 10% of avocado there, but the rest is pea and cornstarch.
No. You talking about the guacamole? Like I could literally go in my fridge right now and
Yeah, pick some. Yeah,
peel an
but
avocado
you
and
get yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But there are people who are buying it already made, and because it's easier to just pick things from the store, from
yeah,
the yeah, you get it. It's already made, and that ready made can contain just traces of avocado. The rest is pea and cornstarch.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Every time we do this podcast, you make me have to go to my refrigerator and
in
toss some
the
things out because I purchased I purchased some guacamole from
oh
Whole Food
yeah.
yesterday. Like
Okay,
literally yesterday.
maybe from Whole Food, maybe they are going because they are, as you said, it comes with the price. They are going to take care of that. But
Yeah.
when you go to other places where they're not taking care of this,
Right, right.
guacamole, it's green. So you see guacamole, it's green. You just take it's green and you take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what is funny? It's I buy tahini. I don't know. Yeah, that's we call it tahini. It's from sesame. And
What is that?
tahini is made from it comes from the sesame seeds.
Okay.
Um, and tahini is very rich in calcium and iron. So I like buying it for my daughter especially. And the other day we went to a certain shop and we find this small but a little. I normally buy it from organic shop, but now we're in this shop and we say, "Oh, this price is quite good." And she looks at me like, "Well, I don't like the way it looks like. Like it doesn't resemble like something she normally uses."
Right.
So, and even if the ingredients they're like just sesame, they like, yeah, it doesn't really look like something that we normally take. So we need to be very careful what we are using, how we are buying things, how we are consuming. Because
Right.
if we were just going for the price, it was really okay because it's less expensive. But you understand, even the kid is saying, I've been using tahini for some times, and that one doesn't look like the ones I use normally.
Right.
So
You know,
yeah,
I had a debate with my sister. We are talking about where I shop, at
yeah,
grocery shop. She's like, why do you go like Whole Food? The Whole Food that I go to is across town.
yeah.
I go there for two reasons. I don't really shop in urban areas. And that's for a reason because there's not a lot of quality stuff in those areas.
Oh,
Or the quality stuff will be is in a different part of town. Let's just say it like that, just to be nice. And
oh, okay.
as far as the price, as far as the quality, totally different. Totally different. And when I
Yeah.
explained it to her, she was like, "Oh, I get it." I was like, "The price is gonna be different, and the quality is gonna be different." So what they send
Totally.
to the urban area is totally different. Totally
Yeah,
different.
I think I've seen that also, like something that is quite. I live in a big town, and
Yeah,
like you get sections where some immigrants on this side, the originals are on
exactly.
this side, and they don't provide the same quality of food
At all. At
at
all.
all.
Yeah, the thing about it is it's the thing that's less talked about.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to, believe that's a reality. That
yeah,
is a
that's a
reality.
reality. Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I was
yeah,
like, I'm not going there just to make myself feel good. And I
yeah.
told her that. So I'm not just going there to make myself feel good for my safety.
Exactly,
You know
exactly.
what I'm
And
saying?
I've noticed that, for example, when I started doing blogging, and I was just used to, before that, I was just going to two markets.
Right.
And just because of that's how what it was. And then I was like, when I started blogging, I started seeing stuff that I have never seen before. And I was like, why don't I go beyond my marketplace and find out what is being sold somewhere else?
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, when I am Black and I come from this immigrant people section,
Right.
we have our own food. And I went to the white dominant markets, and mind blowing things I've never heard, things I've never seen.
I call that I call that smart shopping.
Yeah.
It's smart shopping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I go into a market and sometimes I'm the only black guy in there.
me too.
I will
Me
and they're like, hey, listen, I'm supposed to be here, period.
Well,
Period.
here you don't experience that kind of like, what are you doing here? But I quickly noticed I was the only person who was Black there. Like, you don't see
Exactly.
the other people there. And
Exactly.
this is just to say, I wanted quality and I wanted diversity. And that diversity and equality, I found it in these places where we are less,
Yeah.
people like us, we are less. To say so, even when it comes to industry, people, they are making things for some people according to how much you can put into on that place. How much are you putting on the table? How much do you want to pay for it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So to come back to our elephant here, so what are the fast, what are the best things to cook with? It's the avocado, the coconut oil, ghee, butter, taro, palm oil. And the best, this one they will start heat, but the best still remains. It's better not to cook your food at a high heat.
Right.
There is something, I had this with a lady from Kenya the other day. She was saying, it's good to be discerning. There are things that we need to question. And I started talking about this long time ago when I started really talking about healing. It's not because your grandmother was cooking in a way that you have to keep on cooking it this way.
Yeah.
Okay? She cooked that way because that's the way it was then. But in our age, there is a way we need to cook differently to
Right.
preserve food, because when our grandmothers, and for some people great grandmothers, they didn't have all these pollutions and all these, a lot of things coming from industrial route. They, once again, remember what I said, if cooking with a one single spoon of oil was the only problem, then I don't think
Right.
the antioxidants and polyphenols from the food would outrun that problem. So our grandparents, maybe they cooked with, or whatever they cooked with, and they cooked for a long time, the food was smelling so yummy, because tasting so yummy, because by then they used also whole foods.
Yeah.
Okay. And there wasn't a lot of pollution. So as we need to consider that whatever we are cooking in a way, in a health in mind. I'll coin that from a man, he's called Udo. Udo made oil. He has a company, he started making oils, and he says, I want to make oil with health in mind. Meaning, if you want to cook, you cook with health in mind. Don't smoke your food, don't smoke your oils. Even if it's that butter, you don't need to smoke it, because smoke will obviously create oxidation. Oxidation will obviously cause those bad molecules that you're going to ingest with that food. Okay? So we don't brown food. We can cook it, we can simmer it, we can saute it, but we stop bringing food at a high heat because we are destroying nutrients. And in a world we need it, we need these nutrients protect us, because we are living in, especially if you're living in town, we have a lot of pollution. Yeah. And so let's not pollute ourselves in our own kitchen.
Exactly.
Okay.
I got to be honest. That one episode we did, we talked about cooking on a low heat.
Yeah.
I started doing that ever since that episode. Changed the game for me.
For me, for example, I was going just to say that there was a time I used to cook with oil, and I would just put the, if I'm starting with the onions, I'll put the onions first. I let them heat a little bit, and then I'll add oil. I also found that in this house, my family has tendencies of whatever I cook, they'll take a teaspoon of olive oil and just put on the food, on the plate. And so I said, well, we stop putting food fat in the cooking process. I just put a little water. I let the food cook, and then we add oil at the end, so that we are getting the oil that is not damaged. And that also goes if you're steaming your food, you can steam food and then just use the oil. So we are trying to, I'm not saying oils are bad, because you need to use the oils, but you make healthy choices of the oil. And if you have to consume these processed oils because you don't have another choice, please make sure you're not smoking them, you're not deep frying with them, and your diet is much, much healthier. It's not just the oil itself, it's what are you eating, what are we consuming. So if you're having a lot of processed food, if you're eating a lot of sugar in there, those oils, they add more damage to the already damaged food. I'm not seeing you, Trent.
You can't see me? I'm here.
I mean, you're there, but your camera is, I don't know. I can see you, but what can you? You're frozen.
Yeah, I'm having, it's a little different. Do you get me? Am I still there?
Your image is there, but you drop dead.
Wow. Yeah, we're having technical difficulties here.
Okay.
If we can we conclude? Because
yeah, it's okay. So that was it for me. So it's okay. So thank you so much for tuning today, and hope to talk to you next Thursday. I don't know what will happen with Trent. I think his camera is not working well. So talk to you on Thursday. Have a nice time, and thank you for tuning in. It's okay.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward, to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.